Hi. This is Tiny Movie. Today I recap a crime documentary of 2022, The Tinder Swindler. Spoiler ahead.
It's a lot of money.
Took everything I have.
How pathetic can you be?
Cecily is a Norwegian girl born in Oslo who lives in London. She believes that the only meaning of life is love. So important that even after experiencing many heartbreaks in this way, she's still persuading to meet him. Feeling anxious before falling in love on different dates is something she loves to experience every time. For her, love is rooted in her childhood dreams. The feeling of a girl waiting for a prince to come to her rescue. She knows that even though this feeling is unreal, something inside her is waiting for this dream to happen. She has made her account atmospheres in a way to not have a sense of hookup culture because she has always been looking for long-term love. A complete package for her is a handsome man with a cat. But it's not easy to find what she's looking for on Tinder. A lot of swiping is needed, back and forth, back and forth. When she saw Simon's pictures, she liked his look. He was dressed very stylishly. A man in a suit. Besides that, Simon had so many followers, so many pictures in business meetings, parties and beaches, and with animals, and so all this combined made Cecily swipe right. Simon responds quickly that he's leaving London and asks for a meetup. He then sent an address hotel he's staying at, the Four Seasons Hotel. When Cecily walks into that fancy hotel, she feels out of place. After minutes the elevator door finally pings and Simon walks in. He's exactly like his pictures on Instagram. The first thing they start talking about is the job. Simons claims he's the CEO of LLD Diamonds, the leviev group of companies which are one of the biggest companies in the diamonds and jewelry industry on the planet. He explains that he got the job from his billionaire's dad. Very quickly, he becomes very personal and tells Cecily that he has a baby daughter who turns 2 in a couple of weeks. Simon adds that he's not together with the mom, of course. Simons explains that he's rarely in one place for a long period of time, so he's missing having a partner because of that, and looking for someone to accept his lifestyle and stay with him. Simons asks her to come with him to Bulgaria by his private jet because he's really want to get to know her better. Cecily thinks that if says no she would be stupid, she would regret it. Simon asked one of his drivers to take her back home so she could pack her stuff and to get the passport for the travel. The car waiting outside for her is a Rolls-Royce. This is insane. It's exactly like a movie. A romantic extravagant adventure. When Cecily tells her friend on their group chat about what is going on at the moment, they freak out. At the airport, a team of staff, bodyguards, and drivers are waiting for them. Simon's ex with their baby girl is also there. She's joining them on their first date, but everything seems interesting for Cecily. Inside the jet, they are served champagne with caviar and other things that she has never experienced in her life before, like many other people. When they landed into a car heading to the hotel, Simon's ex tells Cecily that he's a great father who is still supporting them. Hearing this is a heart-touching moment. In the elevator, Simon takes her waist and kisses her, which made Cecily feel it's that prince's perfect kiss in her fantasy. This feeling goes on, which leads to a romantic make-love at night. After that, she notices some marks on Simon's back. When she asked what's that, he responds that they're the scars that happened to him during his imprisonment in South Africa's jail, after some of his allies betrayed him, so he had gone to prison on false pretenses, and he had been manhandled there for being Jewish. After hearing this, Cecily feels that he's the kind of people must be saved for all responsibility on his back. She started feeling having a deep emotional connection with Simon. Cecily comes back to London, feeling that a relationship with that busy successful man is fading out soon. So she texts him with hopes he'll miss her a bit. Simon responds quickly that he misses her already, and he expresses his want to continue his relationship with her. So their long-distance relationship starts, but this long-distance relationship did not make Simon distracted from Cecily. One day, Simons gains her address and sends her a big bouquet of flowers, and next time he surprises her by coming to Oslo at 3 a.m. on his private jet to meet her. They met each other at Oslo Hotel Continental, and there, Simon expresses his seriousness towards her and asks Cecily to be his girlfriend. It was a dream come true for her. Previously, Simon had told Cecily, if they're gonna be together, she must know something honestly. He reveals that there is a big deal he needed to get done. A $70 million deal in an industry that is surrounded by threats. Then, Simon introduces his bodyguard, Peter, to her, and next shows her the bullet he received in the mail, funeral flowers he received before, or the unknown people break into his home in Tel Aviv. Simon tells her that his security teams told him he is no longer safe in London, and it's time to stay away. Cecily starts getting scared. Simon asks her to stay in London until these dangers are gone. They will be together forever. There is no news about Simon for a few days. Then one of Cecily's friends sends her a news article about the Leviev family. She finds out that Simon comes from a very powerful and prestigious family that has a close relationship with politicians like Vladimir Putin. Knowing these details, Cecily touches more on Simon's life condition. Knowing the new situation, she is more worried about his absence in the last few days. Cecily checks on Tinder and realizes that Simon is in a different country and some of his pictures had changed. Her heart just sank knowing he's still active on Tinder, but Simon denies it and claims he had deleted the app and his account also. Pernilla is a Swedish girl looking for an ideal funny smart guy, an impulsive man. She has also set up his profile by sharing work photos alongside photos from his travels. She also meets Simon while swiping. From her point of view, Simon is both a traveler and a hard-work businessman. Pernilla likes these features due to her self-made character and tells herself let's swipe right on that. Simon texts her that he lives in Amsterdam but is working on a project in Stockholm and asks Pernilla to meet him with a flight from Stockholm to Amsterdam tomorrow. He obtains her passport details and reserves a ticket for her. Pernilla gets a confirmation from Simon Leviev at LLD Diamonds. Pernilla searches the LLD Diamonds. When she finds who Simon it makes her really surprised. In Amsterdam, Simon with an elegant dress welcomes Pernilla. She enjoys this date greatly. Because Simon was very easy to talk to, in a manner that it seems they known each other for years. Simon takes her to a restaurant where all its staff knew Simon. The restaurant welcomes them by bringing different types of food and desserts, from specially prepared caviar for Simon to sushi and a lot of other things. On the way back, they come across a jewelry museum. Simon even knew the mines, where the best diamonds can find, and how to cut them. Pernilla was impressed and became more and more fascinated by him, but Simon wants Pernilla to stay just friends. Yet they stay in touch day by day and talk to each other on WhatsApp daily. Pernilla names Simon as her battery charger. She remembers one day he flew over just to have a coffee with her because she had a bad day. At the same time, Simon is in contact with Cecily every day. Cecily considers herself as his girl and informs him of the smallest details of her daily work by sending videos and photos. These things give her specific feelings. This relationship continued until a few days later Simon asks her to move in with him. Cecily gladly accepts. While Simon is traveling, Cecily starts looking to rent a place. Simon had told her that she could find an apartment to rent with a budget of up to $15,000 a month, so Cecily went from apartment to apartment to find the right one and she finally could choose a place. In the middle of the night, Simon starts sending some photos to Cecily which he's damaged, and Peter, Simon's bodyguard's head is broken, and both of them are in ambulances. Simon tells her a group of people was going after him, but Peter stopped them. The next morning, Simon sends her a voice and tells her that, because of security reasons, he's not allowed to use his credit cards anymore because his enemies can find him by tracing his spending. He asks her for a favor to link her American Express account to his card so he can use her car instead of himself for 2 weeks. Cecily considers herself as his girlfriend, so she never thinks twice and trusts him. Platinum Amex is in her name and Simon starts using it as he said he would, but he maxes out quite quickly, so he makes payment directly to Amex, and she gets the receipt from him. Simon claims that money is on the way, but asks her to bring $25,000 cash with herself to Amsterdam. The reason is, cash is untraceable, but Cecily doesn't know how on earth she can get that amount of cash. The solution is quick loans. She was finally able to deliver the cash to Simon with great fear and risk of being arrested at the airport when she went through security. On the other hand, within hours, his security team said that there was a problem. Hearing this, Simon instantly deletes his Instagram because of security measures and asks Cecily to private her Instagram account because his enemies can reach her because of that. Cecily gets fearful. She doesn't know what's going on. Minutes later, Peter, his bodyguards, call Simon and tells him that, because of a security breach, they know where he is. Peter asks Simon to turn off all the lights in the apartment and departs there. Cecily terrified. Simon struggles so much and departs immediately. Later, he sends a geotags and informs her that he's in Stockholm. In Stockholm, Pernilla sends a message to Simon to know what's his plan for that night. The answer is a party. They go to a club with oceans of girls. Pernilla prefers to leave Simon and his friends to have fun there. She returns home after 10 minutes. The next day, while Pernilla wanted to meet Simon for breakfast, he is already in Spain. At the same time, Cecily constantly receives messages from Simon that cards are not working. Simon has quickly finished the card limit each time, and Cecily had to call the bank every time to ask the bank to lift the block so that the card could be used. This repeats every few hours. Simon hires Cecily at LLD Diamonds to make sure the bank they have enough earnings so he can use the card with a higher limit. For this reason, someone calls Cecily from there and asks her to send them her passport information. That night Cecily gets a payslip for $94,263 per month. Cecil sends the payslips to the bank that she's earning much more, which makes the bank trust them and raise the credit limit. The next morning, Pernilla and Simon with his new Russian girlfriend Polina are in Mykonos, Greece, and having fun in Grand Suite Hotel whose room is $5,000 a night. Cecily is in Oslo because the next day Simon is supposed to go there to be introduced to Cecily's family, but he tells her that his security team doesn't allow him to leave where he's. Cecily disappointed. But instead, Simon demands another money for his entire team. He spends more than $20,000 in 3 days and still asks Cecily to get more loans. While he's traveling with his girlfriend to France, Austria, Switzerland, and Italy, Cecily takes out another loan for $40,000, but he asks for more every 2 days, and Cecily gets more loans, one after another. So far, she has loaned more than $62,000 from various banks. She's under such pressure that has never been experienced before. Every time Cecily expresses concern, Simon tells her it's a favor from her and assures her that she is the wife he has been looking for. In total, Cecily loaned $250,000 for Simon's spending. Cecily cries when recalling those moments. She gets so tired and annoyed and frankly asks Simon to give her money back. Simon tells her to come to Amsterdam to take her check. When she goes to Amsterdam to meet Simon, he treats her so cold that it seems he's someone else. She receives her check, but it's worth much more than the debt she has now. Cecily comes back to London to cash the check. But the check didn't go through. She checks her bank account every day but no use. After 4 days she calls the bank for help. The bank operator says they won't cash the check, but they don't say why. Hearing this, Cecily feels can no longer breathe anymore. She calls Simon, but he responds that he gave her the money and did his deal. She calls the Amex helpline. When they see how stressed she's, they tell her that stay put, they'll come to her. She was thinking that they're gonna come and handcuff her, but when the Amex staff hears the truth behind, they want her to show them a picture of Simon. When they see the photos, they look at each other and say he's the guy. They ask Cecily what kind of name did he use. Simon Leviev, she responds. They inform her that this name is one of the many names he's been using. Cecily just finds out what happened to her and who she fell in love with. Everything she was experiencing in the last months was a lie. She returns to her mother in Oslo and blocks Simon in social apps. When Simon finds out that he is blocked, he calls Cecily's mother's home in Oslo and threatens her. She tells this issue to the Norwegian police, but they don't take this seriously. She informs the 9 banks from which she loaned, and due to the high interest of the loans, she expects they would eat her alive. She even thinks of crashing her car into a trailer while driving and killing herself. Simon sends a news article to Pernilla. It's a piece of news about Simon's father that's gonna be questioned by the police in a big diamond smuggling case, and even a girl in the office jumped from the building and killed herself, and because of that Simon tells Pernilla all his credit card have shut down. The next day, he sends the photo of his bodyguard injured and they are in the ambulance because one of his enemies gonna stab her, but Peter stops them. He then sends a voice note to her that can she do a favor and lend him $30,000. Pernilla transferred the money to him. It was all her savings for buying a house. Meanwhile, Cecily is lying in bed at the psychiatric ward, checking her phone details. She discovers not only Simon lied about himself, but all other people around him also were a lie, Peter the bodyguard, that kid's mom, and the kid. Cecily writes a letter to Amex asking them for more information to let her know more about Simon Leviev. They tell her to Google Shimon Hayat for more information. She can find an article in Finnish about a multimillionaire that cheated on women. Back in 2015, he had been defrauding 3 Finnish women and threatening them by saying he was working in the weapons industry or he's a Mossad agent, but he was sentenced to 3 years in prison. Even after the end of his imprisonment, he started again with a new plan. Cecily realizes that he has been constantly manipulating women with the same plot. So when and who will stop him? Cecily decides to stop him. She goes to the biggest newspaper in Norway, VG, praying that they will take this on. So it is. The details of the story are incredible for journalists and newspaper officials. A guy who pretends to be a son of a diamond billionaire, using all the luxury potential for creating a fairy tale to trap his prey like a spider. Cecily is so serious in her decision that she reveals all the details of their relationship to reporters. She gives 400 pages of chats inside WhatsApp, all her feelings, thoughts, even all the personal photos and videos she sent to Simon, as well as all his photos and videos. The journalists begin to analyze all the details of the messages. They find out Shimon is a professional con man, and his main trick is persuading his victim by promising she'll be his wife. Then he starts making his victim fall in love with him, making them afraid of his enemies, and then after a month, he starts requesting for money. Nobody would believe he's not able to pay them back. Cecily is also sending the magazine the Finnish article. They discover that Simon Leviev and Shimon Hayed are the same guys certainly. The magazine's journalist, Natalie, got in touch with the authorities and can find the name of 3 Finnish victims in that article. She asks Cecily to check if she recognizes any of them. She finds one of them very familiar. She was the kid's mom. Despite being one of his victims, suing Simon and putting him in jail, that woman continues her relationship with him. Meanwhile, Natalie and her colleagues in VG magazine are trying to prove to the police that Shimon Hayed and Simon Leviev are the same guys. They notice that both of the names are Israeli citizens. They contact a journalist, Yuri Blau in Israel. He can find his last address in Tel Aviv. The VG journalists travel there. They find his real house in a total opposite of how he wanted to present his life on social media. They enter the building and find out that the house is his parents'. Yuri asks his mother to tell them where he is, but his mother angrily wants them to depart there, cause she has absolutely had no contact with him since he was 18. They go to the local police. The police inform them that in 2017 he changed his name to Simon Leviev. It's the proof they needed. They even discover he had many other black marks and long judicial records, even Israeli authorities looking to arrest him. After all this information, the journalist starts finding where he's exactly now. Meanwhile, Simon or Shimon is requesting to borrow more money from Pernilla. She doubtfully transfers another $10,000 to him, and Simon guarantees her he'll pay back the money next week. While his debt to Pernilla is $40,000, next week, he sends her a bank receipt for $100,000. Pernilla thanks him a lot, but soon she realizes that the money didn't arrive. Simon tells her that the money has left his bank account and there's no reason to worry. This is the claim he uses in the next weeks to ask Pernilla to buy his flight tickets. Pernilla sends him a message and tells him money didn't arrive and she's in bad financial trouble. Simon promises he'll give her one of his watches, which is worth more than $100,000. Natalie is still trying to find Shimon. She goes into Cecily's transaction details and in-flight ticket sections. They discover that beside Simon and his team names, there is also another name written on one of the latest purchase tickets. Pernilla Shalom. They search her name on Facebook and find her and inform her about the story. Pernilla is near to passes out. She sends the message screenshot to Simon. He denies it and tells her that they're his enemies trying to get information. The VG journalists go to Stockholm to talk to Pernilla. She figures out everything. It reveals that Simon was using Cecily's money to Pernilla, Pernilla's money to someone else, and so on. His name was never written on any credit cards, so he can say that he just borrowed the money. A perfect scam. Now it's time to find where he is. Pernilla books a ticket for tomorrow to see him in Munich. Natalie and others try to film him in Munich to prove to the police he can be fined. Shimon doesn't know anything about this. Pernilla pretends in a way that everything is okay. Pernilla and Shimon meet each other at the Mandarin Hotel where every single person knows Simon Leviev, and VG journalists follow them. Shimon gives his watch to Pernilla and eats everything on the menu, and then they leave the restaurant. The VG photographers start taking pictures of him, and Shimon notices them. They get in the car and flee. Pernilla inside the car is freaking out. It's real trouble that threatens her life. She can open the car when the traffic light is red and get off the car. The watch she received was fake, of course. What's real about Shimon? Pernilla meets the VG staff inside the magazine building and calls Shimon to inform him that she knows everything about him, so the journalists can film their conversation and also film the way Shimon threatens Pernilla. The next day the VG magazine publish a full detailed article about Simon, so everybody can know him to stop him. Publishing such an article is a bittersweet feeling for victims. Many peoples target the victims with their brutal harsh statement and call them idiot gold diggers, and many others supports them. But do gold diggers take loans to lend it to the guy they like? The article goes viral on social media. The Simon face is everywhere. Cecily is deeply happy because from now on when everybody Googles his name they will find that who is Simon Leviev. It can help another woman not to hurt anymore. Pernilla and Cecily meet each other. They as a team starts to spread their insane story to all other media as much as possible. All newspapers and journalists across the country and outside the country start working on the article. Talk shows interviews them in US, Germany, Netherlands and other countries. Many victims all around the world contact the VG magazines and tell the same story. It reveals that it's about 20 years that Shimon is defrauding people all around the world in this way. Despite all this information, he's still free and on the run. Aileen Charlotte is his current girlfriend victim. She works in the luxury fashion industry. She is waiting at the Prague airport to go to Amsterdam. She suddenly reads the article. She and Simon are in a relationship for 14 months. She experienced all the moments, same as other victims, but it made the worst effect on her, physically and mentally. Because of their long relationship, Aileen is almost paranoid. She was constantly looking over her shoulders when she was out. A few months ago, two guys followed her and tried to beat her up on the street to prove her the enemies are real. Aileen is in Amsterdam. She sent the article to Simon. He tells her that Pernilla and Cecily are paid by his enemies to create the article. But Aileen has realized that defrauded, so tries to take her money back. She tries to pretend that everything is okay. She knows that Simon's wardrobe is worth a fortune. On the other hand, Simon messages Aileen and tells her because of the article, he can't go out or use his credit cards anymore. Aileen tells him to let her sell all his clothes in his wardrobe to transfer money for him. Simon creates a credit card with a new name on it. He's now David Sharon. Aileen takes a picture of it and informs the police about his new identity. Simon is now in Prague. Aileen goes to see him and pick up the clothes. She's terrifying being alone with him anymore. They meet each other and Simon goes to a plastic surgery clinic to change his appearance. The doctor doesn't accept it because he knows this kind of surgery is wanted among the criminals. Simon cries to change the doctor's decision but no use. They back his place and Aileen can finally pack up the clothes in 3 massive suitcases. She starts selling the clothes but she doesn't send the money back to him. He starts calling and texting her where is the money. He pretends that is in a bad condition without any money but Aileen tells her she didn't sell anything so far, but actually was selling the clothes. Almost it's not the total money she lent Simon, but it's made a very pleasing feeling she's revenging and making him squirm. On the last day, Aileen knows he's gonna go to Greece. Sends him a message and sees that her messages didn't receive on WhatsApp. So she guesses he's on the flight. She checks the Prague to Athens flights. She thinks the flight is at the same time her message didn't receive. She sends an email with full detail to the police and informs them Simon Leviev is on that flight as David Sharon. He was finally arrested by Interpol on a fake passport. Aileen informs Cecily and Pernilla too. Although he was arrested and handed over to the Israeli judiciary, he spent only 5 months out of 15 months in prison and now lives freely in Israel. He's believed to have swindled more than $10 million from his victims so far. He's now living freely. He has been promising his followers on social media for weeks that all this news is a lie and he'll tell the truth next week. Next week has not yet arrived. He has been banned from many social networks and he's now having fun with his Israeli girlfriend and laughing at his victims. Cecily is still finding her love on Tinder, and this documentary ends.